What's up, everybody? It's Sam here from the Gambling Corner podcast. And before we get to your scheduled program, I'm here to tell you about Anchor. It's now easier than ever to start your own podcast. Their free app gives you everything you need to get your podcast off the ground. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or computer. And if you're worried about getting your podcast heard, don't worry. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
What's up, everybody? My name's Sam, and this is the Gambling Corner, brought to you by Fat Lad Sports. Slightly different show today. We've got me and Liam actually in person for the first time ever. We were sat in his back garden with his old man. And we had quite a sort of light-hearted and still formal, but more of a light-hearted version of things going over the Euros that start on Friday. So for those of you that don't know, Liam and his dad, they follow England home and away. They've been to an awful lot of England away games over the last 4 or 5 years, so they're pretty well placed to discuss international football. So yeah, that's about it from me. Enjoy the show, enjoy betting on the Euros, and we will talk to you later.
I'll just play it out.
Yeah. Hello, ba.
Hello, mate.
Got you in front of me.
It's a bit strange.
Yeah. We have the Euros.
Euro 2020 preview.
Yeah. So we'll start with Group A, or do you want to start with England?
I'll start with a question for you.
Uh-huh.
How do you think England will get on?
The conversation that we had before we did this, I reckon they'll get knocked out in the quarter-final.
I said round of 16, so...
Yeah, I'm not sure. I still think they'll get through. I just think it's a fucking hype, don't they, all the time as well? That's the worst of it. Is they get hyped up.
Whenever there's pressure, that's where they seem to fold.
It's all right. So we'll talk about England then.
Talk about England.
All right. England's group is Group D, with Croatia, the Czech Republic, and Scotland. I'm gonna. Group D. So I've written on this. I think that this will probably be the most watched group, obviously, because of the England and Scotland factor. I don't think it's the best group. I think obviously Group F is the best group, but Group D I think will be the one that everyone watches because of England and Scotland. And I just worry about the pressure that is going to be on England to perform as there is going into every tournament, and as there is especially in this one, because apparently they've got the greatest squad the world has ever seen.
And it's coming home. Yeah, they've got the added pressure, especially with the replay of the Croatia game, which will be a big factor. People will be watching that and saying, oh, why didn't they do that last tournament when we beat them 1-0? But this one isn't a semi-final, it's the first group game, and that Croatia side has aged.
Yeah, but they're still pretty much the same side, are they not, that we're in?
Yeah, but Modric isn't the same player.
No, but they're close to being
it's
similar
the same
side.
personnel, but I think England have had them breakthrough players, such as your Fodens, Grealishes and Mounts, whereas Croatia is same old shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I worry for the Croatia game, and then I also worry for the Scotland game.
I think people are worried about the Scotland game just because of how embarrassing it would be if something was to happen. But realistically, if you compare them two squads, I know it's going to be Scotland's cup final. But I've got down here as Scotland's key players as Robertson, McGinn and Che Adams. And you compare them to the Harry Kanes, Grealishes, Mounts, Fodens. Well, there's no competition, really.
You look at it and you have the likes of, like, Lyndon Dykes is their bookie's favourite to be their top scorer. He's 7-2, so they obviously don't think that Scotland are, one, going to score a lot of goals, two, who's going to score them, they're not sure on. So, yeah, but I like, you know what happens, cup ties, and it's a
It'll be Scotland's Cup final.
Yeah,
But it was
local
similar to
derby.
Wales when we played them in the group stage and we managed to sneak through.
Yeah, sneak through is quite apt.
Yeah, but I still think Wales are better than that side. Wales are better than this Scotland side, definitely.
So, do you think England will win the group?
Yeah, so just odds-wise, you got England at 2-5, Croatia 3-1, Scotland 16-1, Czech Republic 12-1 to win the group. To qualify, you got some terrible odds on England, which is 1-33 on. Croatia for 3-10, which is quite good odds considering 3 teams out of 4 of the 6 groups go through. So 3-10 is quite a nice odds considering they're a lot better than Scotland and Czech Republic. You got 6-5 on Scotland to qualify and 4-5 on Czechs to qualify. But yeah, I think it's pretty simple. And anyone predicting it would say England, Croatia top 2, whether it be a Croatia top, England second, or England top. I can't see that being anything away from them two as the top 2.
Yeah, just to add to that, I actually have written down here that I don't think that England will win all 3 of their group games. The Croatia game is obviously a difficult one to start off a tournament. The second one against Scotland is a pressure on. There's a real chance they could go into that Croatia game with 2 points.
Well, we're going into this with people saying they prefer us to finish second again, so it could be. The thing I said to you when you said about Netherlands winning every group game.
Yeah.
1, you could be qualified after 2 games already.
Yeah.
So you can go into that third game resting the big boys. And 2, like the World Cup, if you see you could have a Sweden then Croatia quarters and semi-final, if you lose the next game, you've then got no motivation to go and win it, which is why I don't like to bet on teams to win all group games. And yeah, we could easily throw this with a lot of people saying, oh, let's lose this or come second in the group so we have an easier game rather than playing France, Portugal or Germany in the round of 16.
Yeah, well, that's true. I think the Czech Republic game will probably be a given that both Croatia and England will win. My worry is Scotland game and the Croatia game. I could see Scotland just not letting England win, and it just, you know, like we said, it's their cup final, Scotland's cup final, and we were just worried that.
Yeah. They haven't got a great side though. They had to win 2 penalty shootouts to get to the tournament. They didn't even qualify on kind of merit points wise. What I've got written down here as well from the Croatia side, if you're a bit worried about that one, they've only won 1 out of the away games in qualifying as well, so they're not good travellers. Croatia, that is.
Yeah.
So there's another one to look at when they're coming to Wembley and don't play well away from home. And the only thing I've got down added here from the Czech Republic side is they only got 1 point in the last Euro, so the record isn't great other than the 96, which I watched the highlights in earlier when Pavel Nedved was running around.
But you'll also notice in the 96, as Sam and I have both seen, when England start a tournament, they are not great starters in a tournament.
Very true.
Yeah, well, that's true as well.
Last World Cup, struggled to beat a Tunisia side who we should have beaten quite comfortably.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy group, and I don't think we'll win all 3 games like Sam said. But with the confidence going into it with some of these big boys, some of them just won Champions Leagues. Kane's just won a Golden Boot. I think they're going to have so much confidence compared to Croatia side that don't like going away from home. A Scotland side that are very average, and the Czechs very similarly very average with a couple of standout players being both from West Ham. So I don't think we've got any reason to worry.
All right, now we've done the England group, so then we'll time shift and go back and do groups in alphabetical order. All right, we'll start with Group A. Group A is Italy, Switzerland, Turkey, and Wales. Italy, for me, are probably one of the dark horses for the tournament. You can get them. I think they were 11-1.
I've got 8-15 on here.
No, I mean for the tournament.
For the tournament?
Yeah, I think they were 8-1, something like that. I'm
potentially
not 100% sure on that, but they're the clear favourites to finish top of their group. They are 4-7 to finish top of their group. They're unbeaten in 10 competitive games, winning 7 with 7 clean sheets. as I said, they're my dark horses have possibly gone under the radar. They don't really have the sort of sexy players that they had previously, but they've got some very good players, and they've got a real good, solid centre-half pairing, Bonucci and Chiellini, if they're both going to play, I believe.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, they've obviously got Mancini in charge, so it's everyone that we know quite well if you follow English football. Key players, a lot of them kind of go under the radar as well. So you've said Bonucci and Chiellini. You got Verratti in there, who plays at a very good level for PSG. Jorginho, who's just won the Champions League. Got Chiesa, who have pulled out Juventus more times than Ronaldo this year. And then Immobile, who's averaged 25 goals a season over the last 5 seasons. So they got a goal threat up there as well.
Well, Immobile's 7-4 for the Italian top goal scorer, so
which is a nice price considering he scores goals wherever he goes.
I've written here that there were 7th favourites in the book in the outrights, but I didn't actually write a price.
8-1. 8-1. I just checked.
Was it 8-1?
Yeah, Italy. Yeah, outright. But yeah, in recent years, Italy have struggled for a goal scorer. Balotelli being the kind of last one, and he's not one to rely on. So at least with this, you've got the good defence that they've had for however long. You've got the decent midfield in Verratti, Jorginho, and then you've got the dangerous players in Immobile and Chiesa. So like you said, I do like them, especially for the win in this group, 8-15. I've got down here. Looks like a very good price to win a fairly average group. Turkey look all right, Switzerland look all right. Not too sure on Wales, but Italy to win the group at 8-15 is a very nice price.
Yeah, I like that one as well.
Yeah.
And then second up, we have Switzerland. Yeah, they're a strange squad, Switzerland. I think they've relied heavily, haven't they, on Shaqiri and Shaqiri alone in previous tournaments to sort of pull themselves out of it. I think they're joint second favourites to win the group. I think at 9-2 and 1-2 just to qualify. Yeah, they're a difficult one to gauge because I think they could probably cause an upset or spring a few shocks. I've written here that they have one defeat in 4 games against Spain and Germany in their last 10 games. So they're obviously no mugs. I don't know what you've written down for.
So for Switzerland, for everyone that we're speaking about, I've tried to write down a few key players as well as a couple of stats for each side. And the key players I've written down for Switzerland, Xhaka, Shaqiri, which you can't really rely on. If you know football, you shouldn't really rate Xhaka, to be honest. Sorry, Arsenal fans. And Shaqiri's not one to rely on playing however many minutes this year. You got Mbolo, who's done quite well, and then Mbabu, who's been part of the Wolfsburg defence, which has gone really strong this year, who's a decent right back. But just as one of the stats I've got down here, they've gone on, went on a run of 7 without a win, and then followed that up with 6 wins in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But those wins were against sides such as Ukraine, Bulgaria, Lithuania and Finland. So they're much like some of these sides, bullies against the smaller sides.
But might struggle as their competition improves.
But in this kind of aspect in the Euros, you're not going to get any of these kind of rollover sides. Wales going to be fighting away. Turkey looked like a really good side, which we'll go on to. But Switzerland, if you're relying on Xhaka, Shaqiri to kind of come up with the goods, I think you're going to be struggling this tournament.
Yeah, well, I would agree. But on the same note, you look at Turkey, and Turkey haven't exactly set the world on fire. The work I did mainly consisted around the last 10 competitive games. I haven't really taken into consideration any friendlies or anything like that. And Turkey have only won 4 in 10. You know, they're going to obviously have to rely on Burak Yilmaz to score their goals. I think he's 6-4 to be Turkey's top goal scorer. Yeah. Are they better than Sweden? Are they definitely going to qualify?
I'm not sure about Sweden, but I said they're better
Sorry,
than Switzerland.
Sweden, not Switzerland.
But yeah, I just look at that Turkish side, and then you've got the Siyunchus, obviously from Leicester, Canonoglu from AC, and then Yilmaz, who's obviously had a brilliant season. And against some of the better sides, I'm not saying they have to play too many good sides, but they managed 4 points off France in qualifying, so they can obviously do it when they need to. And if they've got everyone fit, especially with the Yilmaz factor, I prefer them a lot more to kind of Switzerland. But
yeah, well, I think I had down Turkey to finish second, and Switzerland I got second/third, but qualify. I think so.
Yeah.
I think one of them will come out as a third place team on that one.
yeah, there's a reason why they're both 9-2 to qualify to win the group, and to qualify they're both 4-7. So there's nothing really in between the two. It's almost who you fancy out of them.
Yeah, and then we're on to Wales, probably the most pessimistic of all the sides in that group. You actually came up with a really good point about the manager, which I hadn't even realised. I haven't even thought of until you mentioned it.
No, Giggsy's been a naughty boy, or yet to be proven guilty, but is suspended currently from Wales management. So Rob Page is going in as caretaker manager for this tournament. And I'm just not too sure on Wales. I said to you a couple of minutes ago, the key players you've obviously got with Wales is Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, Harry Wilson. You can throw in there as well. But if you're relying on Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale, and they've played about 10 minutes here, there, and everywhere, they're not playing consistent football. And then to go play 90 minutes at this stage, I think is almost a bit too much. I think Wales have still got quite high expectations coming off a really good Euros last campaign. And I just think they're going to flatter to deceive, to be honest. And I think they're going to struggle in this tough group.
They're the only ones with positive odds to finish bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, so 8-1 to win the group and 5-6 to qualify. I just don't see them coming up trumps against Turkey or Switzerland. I think they're going to struggle to win a group game, to be honest.
No, I think unfortunately they'll come bottom and they'll go out. They'll be one of the not very many sides that do actually go out at the group stage, because obviously there's not many that do go out. So
No.
yeah, well I think that wraps Group A. And in Group B of Belgium, Denmark, Russia, and Finland. Belgium at 8-11 to win their group is fantastic bet. I think I can't see any other outcome than Belgium topping that group, to be honest with you.
No, the only issue for me is whether KDB is fit and ready to go. Obviously, he had a hefty collision in the Champions League final, breaking part of his face or whatever, fracturing his eye socket.
Oh my God, he broke his face.
Mick Foley off the top of the cage. But yeah, even if he was to miss a couple of group games, I can't see them struggling against Russia, Finland. I did say to you earlier, Denmark have got quite a good side in this, but Belgium, 10 wins out of 10 in qualifying, scoring 40, conceding 10. With Lukaku in the form he's in, the back line has been questionable in previous tournaments. You talk about the golden generation, you've got a very aging back line, but they've got Castagna coming in from Leicester, which I think strengthens that up quite a lot. So I don't really think they've got too much of a weak spot. Maybe the centre halves, Big Toby from Spurs, and then you've got Jason Denayer from Lyon. Fairly questionable back four, but still, when you got the firepower up front, I don't think you can look
Jason
past
Denayer
Belgium.
failed at Sunderland, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think.
But yeah, apparently he's tearing it up at Lyon.
Is he? Good for him.
From what I see on FIFA, that's my
Yeah, I think
my go-to.
Belgium as well. You know, they're unbeaten since the World Cup semi-final against France. You know, that sort of pretty much tells you all you need to know about them. And in a group with Denmark, Russia, and Finland, are they going to be up against it? Are they going to not finish top? I can't see any scenario where they don't finish top, personally.
No, we were both very surprised when you saw 8-11 at the odds for them to win the group. So that's definitely one of the picks that we're going to be putting out. Denmark,
100%.
Denmark to win Group B is a dead cert for
Denmark,
us.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Denmark to finish second.
Denmark to qualify is one of mine.
Yeah. Right, we'll look at Denmark then. They have a 83.33% chance to qualify from their group. Believe it or not, and they're in decent form with 6 wins in 10. If you want to go through some of their squad, because when I looked at it or was doing a bit on Denmark, I didn't quite realise how good their squad was.
Yeah, they're a bit underrated in terms of squad. That's what I've got down here. They've got obviously Schmeichel in goal, is the one you think of. Then you've got Christian Eriksen, Højbjerg from Spurs, Christensen from Chelsea. You've got a couple from Atalanta, the fullbacks. Then you've got Poulsen up front who plays for Leipzig. So, and then some of the midfielders, you've got Delaney from Dortmund as well, just to name kind of a few for you. But in a group with Russia and Finland, you can't see really past Denmark. I think that's the only problem, or the only reason Belgium are coming out at 8 to 11 is because Denmark have actually got quite a good squad. Because Russia and Finland aren't going to be challenging. Russia have got age inside, and Finland aren't going to be close, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Denmark have gone a little bit under the radar just because you see Belgium in that group and you think, well, they're just going to run away with it. People seem to forget about them a little bit, but they won at Wembley in November, and that's only England's third home loss in 50 competitive internationals, so they're obviously no slouches.
I'd written here that Denmark, I think the sum of their expectation will be 6 points from the group. Would you say that was fair?
4 or 6, definitely.
Yeah. 4 or 6. 4 would see them probably qualify.
4, I still think with 4 points from this group, you're going to finish second.
Mm.
Because that Russian-Finland game is not going to stand out, I don't think. I think that would be a score draw potentially, but there's not going to be much in that.
Yeah, and with Russia, there's 6 wins in 10, and they are the perennial team that when their competition improves, their results worsen. They've lost the losses in those 10 games that they had of Serbia and Turkey, and I think they'd beaten, no marks, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Other than that, and that was the 2 I picked out. The Serbia and Turkey defeat would be the two teams where their competition improved and their results faltered. And what I found interesting was that they have Dzuba was 5 to 6 to be the top scorer, and then the next favourite was Golovin, who's 8 to 1.
Yeah.
So they're obviously going to put every single thing that they've got on Artem Dzuba.
Yeah, the big lad up front from the World Cup. Yeah, people shouldn't get carried away with Russia just because they done well in the World Cup. Obviously beating Spain of note, and then I think they got to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's a home World Cup as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not going to be the same as that, is it? It's going to be far off. They've had a bit of a rebuild with their squad, losing a couple of older players. Like you said, Dzuba and Golovin are the 2 standout players. Golovin went to Monaco, and I don't think I've heard from him since.
No.
Dzuba hasn't been lighting the world on fire anytime soon. So, yeah, I can't see them doing too much. And with Denmark and Belgium in the group, I think they're going to struggle. Potentially qualify through the 3rd spot.
Yeah, I would tend to agree on that.
Because I could still see them beating Finland, because it's obviously their first international tournament. As going through the Finland squad, I can't see them doing much either, to be honest. So potentially Russia to finish 3rd and go through, but I don't think they're going to be challenging Denmark and Belgium.
Yeah, I think when you add to that point with the Finland, I think Finland are the only ones with positive odds to qualify.
Yeah.
I think Russia were like 4 to 9 or something like that, weren't they?
They're 4 to 9, Finland 5 to 2.
Yeah.
The Russians don't tend to travel very well, though, so
no, that's true.
That St. Petersburg stuff will be very important to them.
Mm. I'd forgotten that there. St. Petersburg's a host nation, isn't it? Russia's a host nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. That's one to keep in the memory bank. I did find something interesting for the Finland side. I only saw it twice, and you could get 6 to 1 for no Finnish goal scorer. Obviously, Timo Pukki was the favourite. I can't remember what he was, what price he was. He was 6 to 1.
Pukki's 6 to 1.
I think Pukki was 6 to 1. But he's not at all. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to work out what I've written. Norwich striker Timo Pukki is the favourite to be the Finnish top scorer. But the next favourite at 6 to 1 is no goal scorer. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've got all hopes on Timo.
Yeah.
And to be fair, key players we've got down here, the other lads from obviously Rangers, Kamara, and then they got Hikradeki, who plays in the Bundesliga. He's a goalkeeper. But other than
Thanks
that,
for that.
they've got no one of note.
I'm glad you told me that.
That's it. They've got no one else of note really. And in their first international tournament, I could see that being a case of just happy to be there.
I tend to agree. I can't see them putting up many trees. I've written down here, group finish, bottom, predicted finish, group stage. But I do think the 8 to 11, 4 to 5 kind of range that you could get on Belgium to win that group was one that you probably can't look any other way at for that one.
No, absolutely love that.
And I think that concludes Group B. And in Group C, Holland, Ukraine, Austria and North Macedonia. Holland have a 98% chance to qualify from their group and a 71% chance to win the group. And they have 6 wins from 10. They have a lot of goals in and around their side, which is probably why Memphis Depay was the top Netherlands goal scorer in the odds. But they, does Depay play as a forward for them?
Yeah.
An out-and-out forward?
Yeah.
Instead of Luke de Jong?
Yeah, I don't think de Jong plays. I think de Jong comes off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depay's the main man.
Yeah, well, I saw he scored twice in midweek, didn't he?
Yeah, he's
Against
the main
Scotland.
man. He played well for Lyon as well this year when we backed them. He's starting to come up with the goods. So, and he might be going to Barca by the sounds of it. He's one of the many that are getting linked there.
Yeah, on the freebies.
Yeah, that'll save him from conceding, won't it? Go get Memphis Depay as well.
Yeah, just when they need another attacker.
Yeah. But yeah, Netherlands obviously missed the last 2 major tournaments, but you got to like what you see with this side, really, with the players coming through with De Ligt, de Jong, and as you say, Memphis. And in this kind of the group that they're in, you can have Austria, Ukraine scrapping away. North Macedonia will probably be the Finland of this group, who everyone's going to win against. And you've got to go out of the 3 big boys, or the bigger boys. You'd go with Holland every day, I think, with that side.
Definitely. I don't think you can. Again, it's another group, a bit like the Belgian one, though. I don't particularly think you can look anywhere else.
No, that's why they're 2 to 5 to win the group on the market, which isn't the best odds. But yeah, put them in a double or a treble for a couple of win groups, and then you're looking at even money. So it's not a bad price considering.
Yeah, and then I found this one strange that Ukraine was second favourites.
They've got Shevchenko as coach. Maybe he's playing.
Perhaps he's playing, and perhaps it's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't give them any chance to win the group. The bookies have them at 4 to 1 to win the group, but they have an 80% chance to qualify.
See, I think this is the case of they can see them beating North Macedonia, and once you've got 3 points, you've got a very good chance of going through in that third spot, whether it be second or third spot. So I think it's one of those, you get a win, you're going to go through pretty much. And you can see them beating North Macedonia. And they've got a few good players, to be fair. They haven't got a good record in the Euros, but then again, no, neither have Austria. Ukraine went out in the group stage in 2012, 2016. Obviously got a few good players in there. Zinchenko, Malinovsky, who plays for Atalanta in midfield, and Yarmolenko, if he's fit, he's still a good player. But yeah, I think it's more the fact they're 2 to 7 to qualify is because they're going to beat the whipping boys of Macedonia.
Yeah, because what I found strange was why they were such big odds to qualify from the group, where they've only had 2 wins in their last 10 competitive games.
Yeah,
4 straight 1-1 draws. I didn't get the then 2 to 7, 1 to 4 just to qualify. It didn't really make any sense to me.
No.
Especially perhaps over Austria, who are actually in half decent form. They have 6 wins and 2 draws from their 10, but they concede a lot of goals, and they've only kept 2 clean sheets in those 10. So there tends to be a lot of both teams to score in the Austria game. So 7 times out of the 10 competitive games, as I say, we go with the most recent. I've gone with the most recent competitive games. I didn't actually think. I meant to ask you what you thought about that. Was because there was the possibility that we could have gone through them and looked at them and taken into consideration the original qualifying groups, and I just didn't think it made any sense to do that, because obviously now every side is so different. Teams that have qualified, like North Macedonia, perhaps might not have qualified a year later.
Yeah, it's very true. But yeah, I can't see too much going on. With the Austria, from what I saw the other day going off the friendly with England, they didn't seem to stand out at all. Obviously, they got Alaba, who seems to play wherever he wants for Austria. I think he went from right wing to left wing, and he's usually a centre half for Bayern Munich. So I think they said on the commentary they're all the Austrians are moaning about him not playing in his best position. They've got Sabitzer from Leipzig, who's a good player, and then they've got Arnautovic, who we know from the Prem, but he wasn't fit the other day, so whether he plays could be a different story. We've got down here, they've played 6 in the Euros and haven't won a game at the Euros, so obviously
been taken into consideration.
Ukraine and Austria are fighting for these second and third spots, and they both have really poor records in the Euros, so it's whichever team does better out of those two, really. But like I said before, I can see them both beating Macedonia, and as stated, if you get 3 points, you're going to go through pretty much. So I think that's the only reason why they're so short in the odds to qualify.
Yeah, and then we get on to the possibly the whipping boys.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do well. But
So would I.
They qualified via the playoffs against Georgia. In qualifying, 1-4, drew 2, lost 4. So not the best record in the world. Obviously, as we said before, I think they're going to be the whipping boys of this group. I can't see them doing too much with the key players down as Alioski, obviously from Leeds, and Pandev. I don't think they're really the ones to
old
be.
Is Pandev?
I don't know. His hairline's not doing him any wonders, is he? Bloody hell. So, yeah, I can only see them struggling, to be honest. Whether they get a point or something potentially, but yeah.
Well, they're 5-2 just to qualify from the group, aren't they? So
you can get them at 20-1 to win the group.
Can you?
I think that'd be throwing your money away. You might as well help us with some donations.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
can give it to us if you want.
Yeah.
If you're going to back North Macedonia, save your time, back us. Or give it to us, should I say.
So, yeah, we've obviously got a split decision really on Austria, Ukraine. Take your pick out of those two. Netherlands to win the group. You can see why they're such a small price. But, yeah, I can still see them both, the other two, still going through with their win against Macedonia.
Right, and that concludes Group C. So, with having done the England spiel earlier on, we can go to Group E of Spain, Poland, Sweden, and Slovakia. Spain are 1-33 to make it out of the group, which is generous. It could be a lot longer than that, I think.
Could be.
I can't see how they don't get out of the group.
I can see similarities to the last group that we discussed in Group C, to be honest. I think Spain are obviously the Netherlands. Then you got Poland, Sweden scrapping away, and Slovakia not offering much, to be honest. So that's the only reason why. Poland, Sweden are obviously similar odds to qualify. It's going to be the same situation as that one, to be honest. I think everyone's going to beat Slovakia. But yeah, Spain are an odd one, aren't they? Because they've got some good players in there, but...
Yeah, I didn't understand how Morata was their favourite to be the top goal scorer.
No, well, I've got Moreno down here, is who I'd have starting over him. Obviously, Man United fans remember him well from scoring it against them in the
yeah, well, he was 4-1, same as Ferran Torres, but Morata was 2-1. I just found it a bit odd.
Yeah, if I was going to go on Spain top goal scorer, I'd definitely go Moreno over Morata. I think he'd be one to watch in that regard at 4-1. That's quite good odds considering his goal scoring form. They've also got Laporte coming in from France.
Yeah.
The Frenchman, who's now a Spanishman.
Spanishman.
They've got no Ramos and Piqué to make up for that.
I think Rodri's huge for them.
Yeah, and then they've got Thiago as well. If he's on form, he's a very good player as well. And all three of their games are actually in Seville.
Are they?
Yeah, so that's another thing why they're so short priced to go through. They've got all three games similar to England at home.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I thought there's a case where you can make them even longer than that.
Yeah, definitely.
1-33. I was actually surprised to see 1 to 33. I actually thought it was going to be longer than that when I just looked at the group on paper.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we then have, obviously, like you said, as in Group C, you have 2 teams sort of scrapping for second and third. And where Poland are led by Robert Lewandowski. And if he fires, Poland can fire. But if he doesn't fire, it doesn't seem like Poland will fire.
No, so we've always got a chance when you've got a goal scorer of that ilk. But they've got a couple of good players in there as well. They've got Zielinski from Napoli, and then they've got Klick, obviously from Leeds, Fabianski in goal. Last tournament they didn't fare too well, though, finished bottom of their group in the World Cup. But again, I can't see them struggling too much against Slovakia. And at 2 to 5, I can still see them qualifying. That's the only reason they're so short, is because, again, if they get 3 points, they're going to qualify through that third place slot.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you, and I like the Poland side of it to finish second a little bit more because of Lewandowski, and obviously when we get on to Sweden, they're obviously missing big Zlatan, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they said on the Sky Sports article that I read earlier, they haven't actually done too bad without Ibrahimovic. They almost come together a bit more
think
without
he's more
him.
of a distraction, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. But they've got young Isaac up front who plays for Real Sociedad, who's quite a good little player up there. So he might thrive on the chance to actually be the main man. They've got Kolevski, who plays for Juve, the young lad on the wing, who's quite a good player. And then they've got other players around him, like the Lindelofs, who have been there and seen it before. Obviously, they got to the quarters at the World Cup, crashing out to the mighty England. And with the youngsters joining in, I think they're probably a little bit more promising than what people are thinking. So I think they've definitely got potential to qualify, even if it is through that third place again. And at 4 to 9, I like that quite a lot, just to qualify.
It's actually Sweden who I saw was the second and only other team that had no team goal scorer listed.
Oh, okay.
That's 15 to 1.
Yeah.
I know it's long odds and everything else because you have Alexander Isaac was 10 to 3, but still I think that was there were only 2.
Yeah.
Sweden was the other one, which I found a bit strange, to be honest with you.
No, I think Isaac will probably grab a couple of goals, which is why he's quite short. I can't see them struggling to score too much against Slovakia. Slovakia's obviously, they're better defensively than going forward. They haven't really got anyone going forward, to be honest to them. They've got Hamsik, who's a good player, Skriniar, who plays for Inter Milan in defence, and then Dubravka in goal. But Slovakia beat Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland in playoffs to get here, so I think they kind of scraped the barrel just to get through.
Yeah.
And again, I think they're just going to be ones that are happy to be
there.
there.
I can't see them pulling any trees.
No, there's a reason why they're 14 to 1 to win the group and 13 to 8 just to qualify.
Yeah.
So yeah, they haven't got much going for them, bless them.
All right. Well, so what we going there? Spain,
Spain, Poland, and Sweden. I'd probably go Spain. Yeah, as said, Spain, Poland, then Sweden. But I like Sweden at 4 to 9 just to have one of those third places with a win against Slovakia.
I tend to agree that they'll be. It is difficult though, isn't it, to pick out who's going to be a third place finish and who's not.
Which is why when we go on to our kind of predictions, predicting this tournament is tough because you don't know who's going to be playing who in those third place slots.
No.
So it is quite tough, but you can roughly make out who's going to be playing who and when with the big boys. But these third place teams, whoever they go through, are probably going to lose to someone because they've got to play a group winner.
Right, so that is Group E. Yeah, just quickly before we go on to Group F, I turned the page and there was more Slovakia notes. Slovakia to finish bottom of their group at 5 to 6. I'd like that an awful lot. Can't see how they don't finish bottom in their group, to be quite honest with you. But then we'll go to Group F, which is the best group of the entire tournament, easily, with France, Germany, Portugal, and Hungary. I found it, as I said to you before, I found it strange that the French are favourites to win the tournament, but were second favourites to win their group, and I couldn't work out why.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
Baffled myself, to be honest. And I've put France down obviously everyone likes France to win the tournament, but I like France at 11-8 to win the group an awful lot as well, because you can get them at 11-8, which is a brilliant price, I think. I'm not sure how they've got the Germans.
They've obviously come in a little bit because when I wrote my stuff, they were 13-8, so
they've come down a bit. But yeah, like we said on the previous podcast, anything around even money, let alone over even money, you're laughing really.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see past them, I think, for the tournament, let alone.
Yeah, I tend to
for the
agree.
group.
I think the three teams when they play each other, because there's going to be some cracking games as well, and it's definitely the group to watch. But they make you laugh that they can bring Benzema in from the cold, and then all of a sudden they've got Benzema, Mbappe, and Griezmann as your front three.
Yeah,
it's fucking scary when you look at it like that, isn't it?
No, yeah, exactly. They've got to the final in the last two major tournaments for a reason. They've got such a massive squad depth, and we think we've got it blessed with England at the moment. They've got it to a next level.
Yeah, it is next level with France as well.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. And again, it's another toss up, isn't it? With which way you go with Germany or Portugal.
Which way do you go?
I personally go with Germany.
Okay, we're on the fence
because
then.
they're Germans.
I think Portugal.
Because of the Germans.
I go Portugal as well.
The Germans are the Germans are the Germans are the Germans. They
Portugal
will be there.
Very underrated.
Yeah, they are.
Youngsters coming through.
Well, I've written that about Portugal is that they are stacked. Their squad is stacked.
Yeah,
but the Germans are the Germans.
Germans will always, the French are currently cruising against Bulgaria, even though they're only 1-0 up in a friendly at the minute, but they're battering the bejesus out of them. So I think that's done and dusted. I agree with you guys. I think that's a silly price for France. Everyone should be on France to win, but the Germans will be there or thereabouts. But I just don't think they're as good as the Portuguese, and Portuguese are the current holders stuff.
Yeah, Germany didn't quite get there in the 2018 World Cup. Don't forget.
Well, no, that's true.
You go crashing out.
That's true.
And it is the bogey picker's last tournament.
Yeah, it is as well. Yeah, he's gone after this as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Lowe's gone after this. They've got 2 strikers named down. Everyone was moaning about England's squad selection. The Germans have got 2 forwards in Volland and Werner, and then you've got 12 midfielders down.
Oh.
So, yeah, take your picture of the bunch, but they've got a lot of good midfielders.
Stacked in midfield.
In midfield, they've almost got too many. You've got Gundogan, who's just had his best season, who arguably is going to miss out. You've got Kimmich, Kroos, Goretzka, Thomas Müller. Take your pick out. Gnabry. The list goes on and on. They've got 12 unbelievable midfielders in there, and it's it's going to be hard for them to pick. But I just saw the 2 strikers, and I thought if you're relying on Volland and Werner for the goals, they'll probably play Thomas Müller up there. To be fair,
yeah. Well, I think Gnabry was the favourite for the top scorer.
It doesn't surprise me. Not with if you're going with Werner up front. He'll create your chances by getting in from behind, but finishing them is a different story.
But there might be a lot of stupid people parted with their money and see Timo Werner and plus odds and go German's top goal scorer.
Yeah. But if I was going to go for a German top goal scorer, I'd probably go Müller over anyone. They've brought him back in for a reason. I can only see him playing because he was out in the cold for a couple of years and they've obviously struggled, haven't they? Yeah. So I think he's going to be playing. He's one of those, whenever he plays in a tournament, they've done well. So I think he's been brought back in.
It is just a case of what you like more. If you like the Germans more, you like the Portuguese more. It's just gut, innit?
Yeah, one thing I got down here, Portuguese, I do like them a lot. And I think whoever comes second out this group, I think England win our group. We're going to have to play these. So it's going to be a tough game either way. Unfortunately, I think England go out to a Portugal if we play them. They've obviously got Ronaldo, Fernandes, Diaz, to name a few. They actually only won 1 game in normal time in the 2016 Euros.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? That was a proper shithouse way to win a tournament.
They drew 3 in the group stage. They beat Croatia and France in extra time, and they beat Poland on penalties. So they only won 1 in normal time. Proper shithoused it. I've got down here, Portuguese manager is Santos, but whether you want to put down as Portuguese manager Ronaldo is up to you. Because I didn't see him managing during that final at all. I saw Cristiano crying on the sidelines instead.
Yeah, just make it a bit more about me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I prefer Portugal to Germany. I like them. If I was to put more money on a team to win the tournament, I'd go France. But as in a little bit less of a stake, I'm definitely going to go with Portugal.
Yeah,
as outsiders to win it.
Portugal, their only defeat as well in their last 10 games, competitive games, was to France.
Yeah.
As well. So
I think if you just go through that Portuguese 11 at the moment, there's going to be a few teams. Well, there's not going to be many teams that could actually beat them, I don't think, on their day.
Not when you go man for man and through it. It's very strong. Because obviously 2016 it was just the Ronaldo show, wasn't it, essentially, and a little bit of Bernardo Silva and whoever was
Renato Sanchez.
Yes.
Remember him?
Yeah, I remember him.
Young player of the tournament, youngest player ever to win young player of the tournament.
I remember him being bigged up and bigged up and bigged up and bigged up when he was on loan at Swansea.
Yeah. And
against Newcastle, and he was shite.
He didn't quite make the grade at Swansea.
No, he was shite.
But he's in the French league at the moment and doing quite well, so I don't think he's in the squad though.
Yeah, but does that say more about the French league, or does that say more about Renato Sanchez?
Correct. But don't forget, we've got Hungary in this group as well.
Yeah.
They've only lost one of their last 11.
I know. It's strange, isn't it?
But whether they've played Germany, Portugal or France in their last 11...
Yeah.
Get this straight, the Hungary games for each of those three sides are must-wins. If you drop points against them, you're probably not going to go through. Because I can see cagey games. Do you think
2 or do you think 3 go through from that group?
I still think 3, because like I've said in previous ones, I think 1 win gets you through.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't see any of those sides slipping up against Hungary. So I think that's why they're all good sides by their own merit, but that's why they're so short just to qualify. Because 1 win's going to get you through in that third place spot.
Well, you look at Hungary, they're 9-2 to qualify.
40-1. 40-1 to win the group.
Are they? And 1-4 to finish bottom.
Yeah, well, you've got odds for them to lose every game. What was
I did have odds for them to lose every game. Was 11-8.
Yeah, which I think is a good price. Like I just said, France, Portugal, Germany, they are the must-win games are against Hungary. You need 3 points there if you're going to do anything of note. So I can only see them getting battered.
So what are you going with there? You're going with...
I'm going France, Portugal, and then Germany qualifying via the third place.
And Hungary, you don't give them any...
Hungary, I like the 11-8 for them to get spanked every game.
Okay, right. Well, that sums up the group stages then. We'll have a little flurry into the golden boot market while we're there. I think the top 3 betting favourites, unless anything's changed, is Kane, Lukaku and Mbappe. And I'm going to offer people the most obvious piece of advice I've ever offered. Is if you are backing someone to win the golden boot, then think of the type of goals that they score. If they're free kick takers, if they're penalty takers, that sort of thing. You don't want to be backing someone to be top goal scorer. I think Lukaku probably takes the penalties for Belgium, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been on Inter pens. I can't see him not having the Belgian pens.
Same with Kane as well. So that's the thing there. And I found the bet I did like was Kane and Lukaku to be England and Belgium's top scorer. It was 2.44 to 1.
Well, if you put that in, I've just got a request a bet from Sky Bet. You put those 2 in, and then both of those teams to win the group, which we both like. That comes out at 6-1, which is quite a nice price.
You got any more requests to bet goal scorers, or are we?
Goal scorers? No, I've got part of when I go through them later. Some of these request bets have different parts, but just on the goal scorers, I still like the look of Ronaldo at 12s as well, just because, like you said, he's going to be on every free kick. He's going to be on every
corner,
penalty.
every throw-in.
Yeah, he's going to be ordering them about. Bruno's not going to have a fucking look in for them penalties.
Imagine his little face if they get a penalty.
He's got no chance over Cristiano. So even offering them at 12, considering they could still go a fair way in the tournament, I did like him at that price.
Yeah, golden boot's difficult to gauge though, isn't it? Because obviously you have to go through, you have to think of a team that's going to be in semi-finals, finals, rather than a group stage. And obviously with Lukaku's easier group.
Yeah. You can see why he's so short. I can see Lukaku notching a few. I did like him at 7s.
Yeah. All right, and then we'll do some predictions or some bets and then some predictions.
Yeah.
All right, you got some bets.
I've got some requested bets, so I'll read them out and just get your opinion on them. So one of them here, I've obviously said, Kane, top England goal scorer, Lukaku, top Belgium scorer, both to win the group at 6s. Can't see that going too far off the mark. There's one here at 50-1, which I didn't mind the look of. You have to rely on this for every single game of the tournament, though, which is obviously still a tough one. But you can get over 0.5 goals and over 5 corners in every game of the tournament at 50-1.
Yeah.
So 1 goal, 6 corners in every game. You're laughing. You go one step further for that one. You can get over 0.5 goals and 6 plus corners in each game, and that includes extra time at 100-1. Which again, you need 1 goal and 6 corners.
Especially because not many bets like that will ever include extra time.
No, so they're being generous. So at hundreds, not bad again. Another 100-1. The Sky Bet have just got so many. I kind of went through. They always throw shitter in there, so you just got to kind of watch out for it. The next one I've got is Kante best player, France to win the Euros, and then Kante to be carded at 100-1. And I said to you earlier, Kante's got a bit of an agenda at the moment. Obviously got man of the match or player of the match, both semi-finals of the Champions League and then the final of the Champions League. I said it similarly about Modric at the last World Cup. You soon start seeing the clips and see them going viral on the social medias. Kante started to do that. If they go and win the Euros, I think he's got a strong case for the Ballon d'Or, and I think he'll have a very strong case unless your Mbappe goes and scores a shit ton or a Pogba has an absolute worldie. I think it's hard to look past if France win the Euros, Kante to win best player.
It's quite a nice narrative as well, isn't it? Because, like you say, it's all been about Kante love and how great he is and what a nice bloke he is and everything else. It would be quite sort of apt if, like you say, if France go on and win it and then Kante gets the recognition.
They'll be looking to try give it to him, I think, because he's got that narrative about him, and then he can go on to win the Ballon d'Or as well.
Yeah, that I would agree with.
Again, this one's got a bit more to it. It's got France again to win the Euros, Kante again best player. But on this one, you've got Lukaku as the golden boot, which we said we liked because of their group stage. You can get that at 250-1, which is good odds. And then if you wanted to throw in Foden for the best young player, again, similar to Kante, he's got that narrative. He's just gone full Gaza. Is he going to play how he's been playing for Man City when he's at his best? Potentially. I think for Foden to win best player, England need to get past a kind of round of 16. Need to be looking towards the semis, which might be a longer shot. But if you put that in with France to win the Euros, Lukaku golden boot, Kante best player, and then the Foden best young players, that's actually 1,000-1. Obviously a bit of a long shot, maybe worth £1 or something like that.
Yeah, but what you've got to realise is it's a month-long tournament with nothing else on. If you're going to chuck £1 on that, you've got potentially a month's worth of entertainment out of it.
Exactly. And
I'm not saying put your normal unit stake on it. We're saying just do it, and it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Some other bets that I liked England to go out in the last 16. I didn't like that one, but I liked it in terms of odds.
Yeah.
At 13-8, because obviously if we win the group, which I think we will, we play second in Group F, and unfortunately I don't see us scraping through either Germany, Portugal or France. So 13-8 I thought was quite a nice price. Ukraine also to go out last 16, 6-5.
Yeah.
Considering they could, like we said, if they get 3 points, they're going to go through in that third place. And then they play one of the top sides. I believe they'd be playing Spain. And they'd go out to them. So at 6-5, I thought that was quite a good price. You've got Belgium to go out in the semis at 4-1, which was quite good because they've been there or thereabouts and seem to bottle it. And by the semi-finals, you've then got to play a France or a Portugal.
Yeah, Belgium are the bridesmaids. They've been the bridesmaids for a long time, haven't they?
So at 4-1, that's quite a nice price.
Yep.
And for Portugal to have a really good tournament, and we said that we like them quite a lot, to come up short, Portugal runner-up is actually 8-1 as well. So I didn't mind that one either. And then the last bit I've got, the two teams that I like France to win it. I like Portugal to win it. As I've said before, you could get either of those two teams to win it at 5-2.
That's not a bad one either at 5-2.
And then at least you've got a couple eggs in the basket.
Yeah, you got a couple of choices there, haven't you? You got a couple of chances.
And then just as group winners and qualifiers, I've got one that I really like, and then a couple others. Belgium, we've obviously said before, 8 to 11 to win Group B. Love that pick. Then you can throw in group winners: Spain to win the group, Italy to win the group, and Holland to win the group as a treble, 1.86 to 1.
That's back down in our price range, isn't it?
Yeah. And then my favourite pick is right in our price range. My favourite pick of the tournament.
1 to 4? Or?
No, it's not quite. 1.04 to 1. So just over your even money. My favourite pick of the tournament. Denmark to qualify, Croatia to qualify, and Portugal to qualify. I can't see that not happening. That'd be my favourite pick of the tournament.
Yeah, and then the two, I'll reiterate, the two that I've given out are like Kane and Lukaku, top England and Belgium goal scorer at just under 2.5 to 1. Liam talked me out of Holland to win all their group games. I also didn't want to face him off with my bet of England to reach the quarter final. I'm off that if he's on round of 16. I don't like being on the opposite side to him. And then we have Hungary to lose all the group games at 11 to 8. So, so Liam and Adi are going to go over some predictions and routes to the final and who they think is going to play who throughout.
Right, so Group A, I've got it down as Italy first, Turkey second, Wales third, and Switzerland fourth.
I've got similar, apart from Switzerland and Wales in opposite positions.
Group B, gone Belgium in first, Denmark second, Russia third, Finland fourth.
Same as the last group. I've gone bottom two are slightly different positions, but other than that, agree with that.
Group C, first Netherlands, second Austria, third Ukraine, fourth North Macedonia.
Yeah, I've just gone with Ukraine finishing second in that one, as opposed to Austria. I don't see Austria as being a goal force, to be fair.
In Group D, England first, Croatia second, Scotland third, Czech fourth.
Yeah, that's spot on. Obviously, with the Euro 2020 winners in coming top.
Yeah. Group E, we've got Spain in first, Poland second, Sweden third, Slovakia in fourth.
My God, he must be my son. That is exactly the same as what I've picked.
And Group F, I've gone France first, Portugal second, Germany third, and Hungary fourth.
I also agree with that one.
So how did you do it next? You had to pick 4 teams to go out.
So then you pick the four third place sides to go through, and I've gone with Russia, Ukraine, Sweden, and Germany.
Bizarrely, I've gone with Germany, Sweden, Scotland, and Switzerland.
Right, so we're going to have different round of 16 games.
Yeah, so that then puts you as what, Belgium?
Mine comes out as Belgium, Germany, round of 16. And I've gone with Belgium.
Yeah.
I've got Italy, Austria. I've gone with the Italians. France, Russia. I've gone with the French. Croatia, Poland. I've gone with the Croats. Spain, Ukraine. I've gone with Spain. England, Portugal. I've gone with the Portuguese. Netherlands, Sweden. I've gone with Holland. And Denmark, Turkey. I've gone with Denmark. And then you go on to the quarters. Mine come out as Belgium, Italy. I've gone with Belgium. France, Croatia. World Cup final replay. France. Portugal, Spain. I've gone with Portugal. And Holland, Denmark. I've gone with Holland. Comes out the quarters with France playing Belgium. I've got the French. And Portugal playing Holland. And I've gone for Portugal. And then France to beat Portugal in the final is my predictor. How that's
You'd
ended
fucking
up.
love that, wouldn't you? You're just giving out a bet that you can have either of them to win at 5 to 2, and you somehow managed to get them both in the final.
I've also got Portugal to finish runner-up at 8 to 1, and France to win it at 9 to 2.
Yeah, as if by magic.
Lukaku's just managed to get himself to a semi-final.
What? So he's top goal scorer.
So this 1,000 to 1. I mean, I'm not saying put a fiver on it or anything, but if you got £10 spare.
Where do we get to? Where did he leave you in his wake? Round of 16.
Yeah, round of 16. I've got Belgium to beat Sweden. I've got Italy to beat Ukraine. France to beat Switzerland. Croatia to beat Poland. Spain to beat Scotland. England to do the Portuguese, just because.
It's coming home.
Yeah, it's coming home. Germans to beat the Netherlands, and the Danes to beat Turkey, and then we've got the Belgians to beat Italy, although I do agree with you that Italy are my dark horses. I do think there's something about them. I don't know what. And then I've got France to beat Croatia, England to beat Spain, Germany to beat the Danes, and then we've got France to beat Belgium in the semis, and then Germans to do England on penalties, because that's what always fucking happens, and I can see anything other. And then I've got France to win the whole thing against the Germans.
Pick what you want. France end up as winners.
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be how most people's thought process is going.
If
And
we,
obviously, I have to say to people to keep out an eye out on the Facebook and Instagram and that, because obviously you boys will be at the England game. So hopefully, Liam will send me some, or Aid will send me some footage,
yeah,
and we can put it in.
we'll be representing the Fat Lad Sports down at Wembley for the Euros.
Yeah, we can put that up on our social media pages and stuff.
Yeah,
definitely.
Should we end on our final predictions for winners and goal scorer, and then end on that?
Yeah.
Right, so golden boot, I've gone Lukaku, and the winners, I've gone for France.
Yeah, that was pretty much consensus with me as well.
I just think Mbappe is going to have us.
Mbappe and
He's
France.
going to come out, have his coming out party.
I think it's going to be his year.
Yeah.
So I think him and the French go together.
I don't think you can look anywhere other than France. They just look so strong across the board, don't they? Something serious would have to happen.
Do it, like they did in one World Cup where they turned completely internally combusted and lost everything.
Yeah.
And I can't see it, to be honest. I think they're just in their prime, and I think they've not gone backwards since the World Cup win. Let's put it that way.
No.
So, in my opinion.
And again, they brought in Benzema as well, which obviously makes their front three stronger. Yeah. As if it wasn't already strong enough.
I was going to say
it's reasonable, isn't it? Yeah. All right, so everybody, enjoy your bets, and we shall talk to you some other time.
Thanks for watching. Bye.